Yo, what up? This is lesson 4.1, Exponential Growth. This might be the best lesson that you ever see in your whole life. That's a lie. It's not. But we're going to have a lot of fun. So, let's get this started. What we're going to be talking about today is how to write the equation of two things. One, we're going to be able to write the equation of a line, which we already know how to do. And two, we're going to be able to write the equation of an exponential function, which we just talked about in class if you were listening. Okay? Remember, we talked about linear functions before. It comes in the form of y equals mx plus b. This is the slope-intercept form of a line. All right, slope-intercept. The reason we call it slope-intercept form is because your m, remember, is the slope, and your b is the y-intercept. All right? So if you have the slope and the y-intercept, you can write the equation of a line. You just need these two things, the slope and the y-intercept. You need these two, all right? If you have these two, you got yourself a linear function, the slope and the y-intercept. For exponential function, you have two different things. You have an a and a b. Now, these mean totally different things in this case, so let me explain. The a is what we call the starting value, all right? The starting value, all right? That's going to be called our starting value. And our b is going to be called our growth rate. All right? Because an exponential function grows at different rates, remember, they shoot up, they go, woo, they grow. That b determines how quickly it grows. So if you have these two things, you can write the equation of an exponential function. Need these two. Now, if you're not catching my drift, let's do some examples here. For our first example, let's write a linear equation with a slope of 3 and a y-intercept of 4. So our slope is 3, y-intercept is 4. So that's pretty straightforward, right? It's going to be y equals 3x, because this is 3, plus 4, right? 3x plus 4. That's the equation of a line. Now that's our slope, that's our y-intercept, and we're doing great. Now let's write an exponential equation with a starting value of 2 and a growth rate of 7. All right, so remember, starting value of 2, that's our A, and a growth rate of 7, that's our B. Pretty straightforward, so we'll just go for it. Y equals 2 times 7. That's me. 2 times 7 to the x. Now you might be wondering, do I multiply 2 times 7? Do not do that. You should put the parentheses around the 7. So it's 2 times 7 to the x. That's the way to write it. Let's keep trying. Let's try another set of these. All right, let's get some funky numbers going. Let's go with some decimals. Write the linear equation with a slope of 0.234 and a y-intercept of 0.34. All right, so let's give that a shot. So their slope is 0.234 and our y-intercept is 0.34. So we just plug into our equation, y equals, well, 0.234x plus 0.34. All right, that's our slope, that's our y-intercept. And finally, we're going to write the exponential equation with a starting value of 0.4 and a growth rate of 3.4. Once again, we're just plugging in. All right, we have a starting value of 4 and a growth rate of 3.4. So y equals 0.4 times 3.8 to the x. That is my starting value, and that is my growth rate. We're killing it right now, right? Yeah, we are. Crushing it. If you see me in class, wink at me to say that you know that you're also crushing it. Now, I'm going to teach you a way on the calculator to write the equation of a line if you are given a table of data. So we're going to be able to write an equation if we're given a table of data. This is really helpful because there's a lot of times on the Common Core regions where it asks you to write an equation. And if you know that it's a linear function, and we've learned how to determine if it's linear, then there's a way on the calculator to come up with the equation. That was actually on the August regions that you guys just took, of several examples even. All right? So the way to do that is first you're going to look at your table of data. This is our data. All right, we have our x and our f of x. This is our function data. First, we have to determine if this is going to be a linear or exponential. That's from the last lesson. Well, let's see. We're going to see if the growth rate is constant. This goes +2. This goes plus 2. This goes plus 2, plus 2, and plus 2. So this is a linear function. All right. Now that I know it's linear, there's a way in the calculator to write the equation. So I'm going to take you through this step by step. Step 1, you're going to press Stat and go to Edit, and you're going to enter this data into the columns. All right? And let's do that together. Let's do that together. So take out a calculator right now, and I'll show you how it's done. All right? I'm going to move this over. Here's our trusty calculator. Let me get rid of all this jazz. Let's just get the important stuff, the calculator. All right? So now we got our data, and we got our calculator. So follow along. Turn your calculator on. You go to Stat. Why is that happening? Okay, we go to Stat. All right, you press Stat, and then you go to Edit. All right, so you should have these two columns. And what you're going to do is enter in your data in these two columns. So let's do that quickly. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Beautiful. Let's go over to the next column. 62. Oh, don't want to mess that up. Don't want to mess that up. So 62, 64, 66, 68, 70, and 72. All right? Once you've got all your data entered, all right, we're going to go press the Stat button again. All right, go back to Stat, and this time you go to Calc, and down to option number 4, Line Regression. You press Enter. Enter again. And that just told you how to do it. All right? So if you need to watch the video twice, just do it. But you go to Stat, Calc, and then you go down to 4, and it says Linear Regression. It's going to write the line for you. And it tells you here, y equals ax plus b, where a is 2 and b is 2. So let me show you how to do that. So let's take that information, right? Take that information and write it out. So take that information, just write it out over here. Let's make a little space for it. I should have put that in there for you, but it's going to be, say, y equals ax plus b, a equals 2, b equals 2, and then we take this information, we just plug it in. So it's going to be y equals, well, a is 2, and b is 2. It's exactly what we did. So a is the same thing as m. We used m, we've been using m, but that's the same thing as m, okay? You see how it did the thing for you? It told you your slope, and it told you your y-intercept just by plugging in. How cool is that? Pretty cool. Let's try one more example. Now this time I want you guys to do it yourself, okay? I want you to go clear out all that data. Now if you're wondering, the annoying thing is going to be clearing out your data, okay? So if you go back to Stat and you want to do another problem, right? You have all this stuff, it's there. I'm going to show you quickly how to clear it, otherwise you have to do it one by one. You go to Second, Memory. You can go to Reset, which is 7, All RAM, go down and reset it, all right, and now you're back in business. So let's try this again. So first, we're going to look at this, and we're going to see if this is a linear equation, right? So let's see. It goes minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. This is a linear function. All right? Now I want you guys to do this on your own, and then pause the video and check to see if you got the right answer, okay? Do exactly what we just come back and check it. Pause the video. All right, if you actually did it and you paused your video, you should have gotten y equals 0.5x, or a half, plus 3. And that would be the correct answer. All right? If you have any problems, talk to Miss LaRicci or myself. We'll clear things up for you. All right, so that's how you do a linear function. Now I'm going to teach you how to write an equation to model, we're going to do an exponential function. All right, we're going to learn how to do exponential functions. Well, the first thing to do is see if your data is exponential. All right, and remember that means it has to have a growth. It has to keep increasing how fast it grows. So let's see, 3 to 12 is 8, 12 to 27 is 15, 27 to 48 is 21. So obviously this is not a constant growth rate, so this is an exponential function. Exponential function. Yo. Okay. Now to do this, it's pretty much the same thing. We're going to go once again to Stat and Edit, and we're going to enter in our data. All right, so let's do that together this time. Let's go. We're going to go stat, edit, and let's put our data in. Let's pull that up. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's move over, and then we have 3, 12, 27, 48. Okay, once again you go to stat, calc, and this time you're going to go all the way down to 10 or 0 right here where it says exponential regression, and you press enter. Enter again, and it does the same exact thing. So now that you got your data, all right, let's write out our information again. Okay, let's get this over. So we have y equals ab to the x. All right, that's exactly what we learned. A equals 1.5, b is equal to 2.49, and blah, 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 blah. You should write out the whole thing, but I don't have room. I'm giving up right now. So to write our equation, we're just going to plug our a and b in now. All right, we have our a, we have our b. So it's y equals 1.5 times 2.49, you should write the whole thing, to the x. That's exactly what we just did, but it gives you your a and b. Thank you, calculator. All right, so for this one, why don't you guys try this on your own, all right, and then come check your answer. So pause the video, see if you get it correct, okay? Pause your videos, pause them, and then come back. All right, if you did it correctly, this is the answer you should have got on your calculator screen. So what you would do is just plug that back into your thing, which will go right there. So let's plug this in. Y equals ab to the x. A equals 1.844. All right, I'm just rounding. B equals 0.5646. Plug that in. Y equals 1.844. Parentheses 0.5646 to the x. And we're done. Thank you, Mom. You're welcome. You learned something. But seriously, this is super important to understand, so please make sure you have this skill down. When you finish this worksheet, you have done all the work for the day and you are good to go.